Have you ever heard of Math for Dummies? Well, I got a new one. It's called Math for Idiots. And there's a couple of key principles in there that save you a lot of time and frustration if you follow them. So the first thing is you got 24 hours in the day. And I know it's cliche to say, we've all heard it, but we all have the same 24 hours and we all can maximize those hours to our advantage. If you're working out, right? You're working out for 1 hour, you have 60 minutes in that hour. If you plan out every minute of that hour, what you're gonna do for every minute, how many reps you're gonna do in every minute, how many rest minutes you're gonna have in that hour before you actually start to work out, you're gonna get more out of it, right? So if you actually take a few minutes before working out to plan how you're gonna spend that time, you'll get more out of it. And that directly correlates over to your finances, right? If you get a paycheck and you make $2,000, right, in a month, and then you plan out how you're going to spend that $2,000, then you can actually save, $300, $400, or $500 at the end of the month, because you'll see where it's all going before you actually start the spending process. Where most people go wrong in both of these areas is that they just go into the gym and they have no plan. They have no, they don't know how they're going to spend their 60 minutes. They kind of just go in, start. They don't even know how much rest they're going to take. And then because they don't know how much rest they're going to take, they end up taking 2, maybe 3 minutes in between each exercise or each set. And what does that cost you? How much does 3 minutes, what the fuck is that? How much does 3 minutes in between each exercise cost you? Got these recruits over here going crazy. Go back over here real quick. So the 3 minutes, so let's say you take, you got 60 minutes, and in between each fucking set, you're taking 2 minutes break. That's a whole lot of minutes that you're missing out on in that hour. And I know that some people that I've worked out with, and they could attest that when a lot of times when I'll do a workout, I'll just do a whole power hour and not really take a break other than maybe like 1 or 2 minutes out of the hour, just doing calisthenics, push-ups, squats, lunges, jumping jacks, jump roping, whatever it is. Or when you're running, right? You go for a jog, you go for a run for an hour. Do you stop every 3 minutes and take a break? You can, or you could just run straight through that thing. You're gonna get more out of it. It depends on what your intervals are, but like if you're just jogging and then you stop and you take a break, but you're really fit, you're already like in really good shape and you do that, well, you're not gonna advance any further. So depending on your fitness level, you really need to get yourself in a position to maximize that hour. So, all right, I'm gonna be off that. All right, so we got the maximizing of 1 hour of working out, right? Now we're looking at the now we got the whole 24-hour spectrum. So you got to factor in what? You got 24 hours in a day. We all have that. And you have to work for a certain percentage of those, right? You have to go to work. You have to earn money. You have to do something to live in this society, civilized society where you got a house and you got shit to buy and whatnot. You have to live, right? So you got to go to work. You got to spend a certain amount of time doing that. Some people spend 4 hours a day. Some people spend 12, 16 hours a day. It all depends. But regardless of that, regardless of how long you spend at work, you still have to take care of your body, right? You still got to sit down and eat, and you still have to go to the gym and work out or go running or do whatever you're going to do. So you have two things you have to do to take care of yourself. And then you also have to factor in bathroom breaks. You have to factor in, how long it takes for you to take a sip of water, like, and whatnot. Like, you can get super deep into it, right? But you have 24 hours in the day, and you have to sit down and budget out those 24 hours like you did the workout, right? So before your week starts, I implore you to, however deep you want to go into it, to just sit down and decide what you're going to get done for the week. I sometimes like to go off the hip, and I know I'm contradicting myself here, but like when you've built a good routine, then you can kind of sort of, play around with it a little bit. Like, I'm at a pretty good level of fitness. I won't say I'm great, but definitely at a good level. So Sometimes I can go in the gym and just off the hip it, right? But I know that I get a better workout when I plan it out. Do I sometimes go in and spontaneous and just do whatever? Yes, absolutely. Sometimes, it's nice to have a little spontaneity in your life. Is it cool to plan out a trip piece by piece by piece by piece and itinerary everything? Yes. Do you get the most out of things when you do that? Yes. But sometimes is it nice to just go spur of the moment and do whatever? Yes. But don't do that right off the rip. Get used to the process of being disciplined first, and then you can go off the hip. But you got your 24 hours in a day. Budget those things out, right? How do you get the most out of life? How do you get the most out of life? You get the most out of life when you plan things out. With your finances, right? Let's talk about finances. So you get paid $3,000 a paycheck, right? Let's just say you make $5,000 in a month. So you make $5,000 a month, and you get 2 paychecks a month, and you get $2,500 a paycheck. Cool. So before the month starts, you plan out what all your bills are. Like, what is already gone before you even get your money? That's what we got to think about. What is already gone before you get your money? Before any of that money is yours, what's already gone? Well, you should pay yourself first. So you pay, 10% into a TS or into a IRA or whatever the fuck you use, some mutual fund or whatever, like whatever you invest in, if you invest. Maybe it's a savings account. You put 10% in there. Cool. So 10% of the 5,000 is already gone because you already paid yourself. Then you got bills. Let's say 18%. Cool. So 18% is gone. Then you got your mortgage. Cool. So that's another however much. And then let's say after everything is done, you got $2,000 left to yourself. You spent everything else. You paid all your bills. You did all that. Now you have $2,000 to get groceries and live off of, and maybe have a little bit of fun. And a lot of people out there are living just like this. They're living like when they get done, they have no money left. They paid themselves a little bit, and they get to have a little bit of fun, And that's how most of Americans are living right now. But but a lot of I would say most of Americans are running out of money. They have too much month and not enough money, and then they have credit cards to cover the rest, right? I think that we could agree to that a lot of people are doing that too, and that's not good. But that's how we're trying to get out of this. So, and then, right, like we're talking about money, but it goes right over into the fitness world too, where you have, how much do scientists say a pound of fat weighs, right? 3,500 calories. So that in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you have to burn 3,500 calories. So if you take a 7-day period, this is the math for idiots part, right? So if you take 3,500 calories and break it down divide it amongst 7 days, if you divide it evenly, you'll get 500 calories a day. So that you need to, in order to burn 1 pound of fat per week, that per 7-day period, you need to have a deficit of at least 500 calories in your diet per week just to lose that pound of fat, right? And that's just basic math. Like, it's just, but how many calories do you eat in a day? So this is where it gets complicated, and this is where you have to do some math, and a lot of people don't want to do it. That's why there's MyFitnessPal and other calorie tracking systems out there that do work if you follow them, but it's just like budgeting, right? It's just budgeting for your body instead of your bank account, but it's all the same, right? Like, you got to take how much you make in a month, $5,000, and divide that, and then still have $500 at the end of the month to save for yourself so that you can grow your bank account. It's almost the opposite. It is the opposite. Your body and your bank account are two opposites. You want your bank account to get fat. Like, you really do want your bank account to get fat. So at the end of the month, you need to have more numbers on the scale, right? So at the end of the month, you need to have more numbers left over. But when you're talking about your body, it's the opposite, right? You need to have a negative. You need to have a deficit. You need to be spending, you need to be eating less calories than you burn in a day. So you need to be at the gym or doing whatever the fuck you're doing, burning 2,500 calories and eating 2,000, right? And then it's the opposite for your bank account. You need to make 5,000 and only spend 4,500. And that is idiots math right there. Like, I mean, I can't even break it down any simpler than that. You have to figure out how many calories you eat in a day, and then how many calories you burn in a day, and you're going to be losing weight, my friend. That's it. Like, math for idiots is so simple. Anybody can do it, but it just takes the discipline to figure out how much you make. And this is talking about the bank account, right? Like, how much you make and how much you're going to spend, and then stick to that plan, and you'll be saving money, right? Well, if you figure out how many calories you eat, and then how many calories you burn, and then burn more calories than you eat, then you will be losing weight. And that's it. That's my morning spiel on math. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at math. Anyone who knows me knows that I need math for idiots, but it's that simple. And you gotta stick to a plan. But the most important thing about math is discipline, right? The most important thing about all this is having the discipline to do what you set out to do, to make the plan and then follow it to a T. And if you fall off, oh well, get right back up and carry on. But yeah, math for idiots. That's it. I'm out.